Hello everyone, in this video tutorial I'm going to explain how to report into Activityinfo reporting database and the tool that we're going to use for monitoring HRP 2024 as an alternative of the last year for WS Excel Offline. So in this video tutorial I'm going to explain how to open account, access to the system or granting access, and then reporting monthly achievements or progress achievements of your organization into Activityinfo. First of all, you open any database that you have, any browsing software that you have in your computer. For example, I'm using Microsoft Edge. Then you search for the word Activity Info. The first link that appears, you click on, then you click on login. Then, for example, I'm going to log in with my account or organization account. If you don't have account, you simply log in with your Gmail or appears and add in your email address and password and then log in. So then here I'm going to add my password and log in into the system. So today I'm going, because I have access to multiple databases here, list of databases, you will be how many databases you have access to, you will appear like lines like the name of the database and with this symbol. And my focus today is on this demo version that I have created for practicing, for training, but the real database will look like this. So basically it's the same name of the real database, but with the word of demo and numbering. Basically it's the reporting includes of two steps. First, you need to add some of your project details through the project planning module PPM, then reporting on a monthly basis on the reporting module RPM. First of all, you access to the planning module. You open the form planning module and then click on add record to add your project. Here, by getting access, the GBV subcluster IM will provide you access to these two databases will appear in your list. Then also will be linked to your agency. So basically, when you send a request, the GBV subsector IM specialist to add you to the system, you need to have the email account linked to Activityinfo and the organization name. Here you leave project code, it will be automatically generated. Here, the donor of your project. Who is the donor? For example, these are a list of donors, and if you cannot find the list of the donor that you have, just contact GBV subsector IM, they will add it for you. For example, my project is funded through the Sudan Humanitarian Fund. And here, if you have additional partner or sub-implementers that are working for your organization on your project and implementing your project, then you add their names. And if the name of partner doesn't appear, just ask the GBV subsector IM to add your partner. And it happens, or in some occasions, there are more than one sub-implementer or partner in your project. You just add their name. For example, I have these two agencies that are working for me as United Nations, UNFPA. Here the start date end date of your project, not the start date end date of the sub-implementing partners that you're contracting with. No, your project that are the donor is the Sudan Humanitarian Fund. For example, might be 1st of January to 31st December as an example. 1 year project. This is it going ongoing or planned or completed? You can also add your planned projects that you haven't received fund yet, but in this example I am putting, because it's starting on 1st of January, it must be an ongoing project. Here the plan, is it under HRP 2023, HRP 2024, non-HRP? What do we mean by that? HRP 2023, there might be some projects that you have started last year under the HRP last year and continuing in this year, and majority of them are usually ends during like January, February, March, or sometimes April and May, and maximum June. But that is under the last year HPC project module and HRP funding that you have been submitting and received funding for and continue in this year. So in such case, you select HRP 2023. If it is under this year HRP, then you select HRP 2024, which is the project submitted to HPC project module, approved, and then submitted for Sudan Humanitarian Fund a proposal, and you received funding under that project. And if it is not under those two, then that means it is non-HRP. So for example, my project is under the HRP 2024. The overall project budget, this you put the overall amount that you have received, that includes operational, logistic, everything. So for example, I have received for this project 1 million. This is just an example, okay, and it should be in USD. Then you, under this plus, you add activities and targets of your project. You click, then select activities that you have in your project. These are the list of the GBV subsector activities. For example, establishment of women centers, or rehabilitation, or supporting financially. And for example, I have dignity kits. So these two I clicked, then I go down, I see the indicators for these two activities. For example, the target, I may have 10 for the establishment or rehabilitation or supporting, and for dignity kits, for example, 1,000 or 2,000. This is just an example. And this is kits, these are centers. Once you add it, then you click save. Now there is one line added. You can always go back to the record and edit if you want to make changes, but for now this is fine. Then you also add targets by states by clicking on that plus the project target breakdown. Here you select the locations that you are targeting and targeting people. For example, I am working or operating in these 3 locations, the states, and then adding targets. This is unit, like persons that you're targeting. For example, I have 1,000, 1,000 here, 500 here, and 500 here, which is 2,000 in total, and the system will automatically calculate for you the overall project target that you have. Then after you add that, then you click save. Then one line for that subform will be added here. Then you save the record, your project, then it appears here. So with all the details that we have added. Look, we see all the details that we added, and this is for the activity targets. You can click on this small rectangle. You will see one line for that, and you can add more multiple lines, but for this, in this situation, we don't need to add more lines. We only added once. So this is about the targets per locations that we added. This is targets per activities, and this is the main information about the project. Once you added the project, now one project is added. If you have more than one project funded by more than one donor, then you add that multiple times. But the only thing that changed donors and the locations, targets, the details. For now, I'm adding one project as an example, then going back to the main databases that I have access to. I have added my project here in the demo 1 project planning module. Then I will go to the project planning module, reporting module for reporting on a monthly basis. So on a monthly basis, you add your project only once, but for reporting, you will come to this database to report on a monthly basis your achievement and your progress against the project. You open the system, the form, and then you add. We said that we are working in 3 locations in the planning. Then here the number of projects the system provided the code to me. This is one project, and if you add more projects, the system will generate more codes for you. Let's see if we add another project under the planning module. For example, this project is funded by, let's say, BHA, and there is no some implementing partners. We'll do it directly as an example. Then the start date, end date, let's say it is, again, it's 1st February, January to December 31st, 2024. It is ongoing project, HRP 2024, and the overall budget is, for example, this one is 1,500,000. Then 500,000. Then we add activities by clicking on the subform. For example, we have capacity building, GBV assessments as an example. So for how many, as a target, how many do we have for capacity building? For example, 300. And for assessments, that includes safety audits, for example, 10. Then save. And then we add the locations, as we said. For example, I have Gadaref, Kasala, and Blue Nile as a target, and I need to add target for each location. As a person, because we only had a select capacity building, then that has to be maximum 300 that we put. For example, set for 100% for Blue Nile, 100% for Gadaref, and 100% for Kasala. Then we save, and the project is saved. And you see the system will automatically generate a code for me. This is the SHF fund project. This is the BHA fund project, which is the code is 4. This for SHF is 3. Now I have 2 projects. I need to report on a monthly basis against both projects for those locations that I have put in the planning. Okay, and then in the reporting on a monthly basis, we come to this the reporting module. Then I need, for example, for January report, here I have to select which project I'm going to report against. I report, for example, for the first project, and the location should be the same, which we selected, for example, Blue Nile, and here it should be on the locality level. In the targeting, we just reported, we added targeted beneficiaries on state level, but here on locality level, we have to report beneficiaries. For example, I'm working for first location, their IDPs, and then adding your records or activities for January. Here we select month. After we clicked on subform, we select 2024 January, done. Now I selected month of January and activities. We selected activities establishment, and that may also differ if you have activity in certain locations and you don't have it in other locations. Again, the activities that we added in the project plan, it was on state level. Here it's on locality level. And for example, I'm going to have these 2 activities reported against indicators. Here I selected establishment. I need to know how many centers are established or rehabilitated or supported. For example, in my plan, it was establishment. I established 1, 0, 0. Then for the provision of dignity keys in that locality that I selected, for example, 50 girls, 100 women. The total is 150. Then save record. Now you see it is added for January for this locality, the IDPs, and then for the project number 3, which is SHF, then save. I reported for this location, for this locality, for IDP, and for this project, these activities. If you have more than one locality, you need to do another record. For example, project 3, state, Blue Nile. For example, I'm working in 2 localities in Blue Nile. Let us, just an example, this location. Then this time, again, it's IDP, then adding your monthly report by selecting month, then selecting activity dignity gates. And here, for example, I established the establishment. I created one center here as well. No rehabilitation, no support to centers. The dignity keys, for example, I had 100 girls, 200 women, which is 300 in total. Then save, and then save. Now the 2 locations added for this project that you provided services for project number 3, which is SHF project for IDPs. And as an example, if you have different beneficiaries for the same location, you need to add another record with the same project code, same locality, but this time is returnees. And then you report one time. Once you set all your locations, this is just an example I wanted to show. Once you add all your locations, then on a monthly basis, you don't need to every time to add. No, you just select the location, and then here you edit record, then you go to add monthly report. Then you select, for example, next month, our report for February 2024, then same activities that I had, and I may not have this activity because I established, so I don't tick. I may only have this provision of dignity case as it is should be in correspondent with the project planning that you have and you added in the planning module. Then you add, for example, I have reached 100 girls, 120 women, 220 in total, and save record, and then save record. So you have to click twice so that it will reflect. If you look at this Wadi Al Mahi IDPs, you have 2 records. That means you have monthly reports, 2 monthly reports. If you click on these small rectangles, you will see it's January, this is February, and so on. You can also add reporting by here, directly going to the same subform for the location, and this time to select March. Next month you come back and then select dignity case as an activity that you have under this project for this location. And then, for example, I have reached another 200 people, women and girls, and then saved. Now you will see that now I have March reports also reflected. If you click on back, you'll see now I have added 3 records for this location, which is January, February, March. If I click on this, you can click here and then add record, then click on February. on the month of February, I'm coming back and report the number of beneficiaries, which is IDPs I have reached, and so on. So now I have reached another 200. Now here I will be able to see that I have reported for January, February for this location, which is the BAU. So this is how you report against your activities and how many activities you have. It is just simply by selecting the list of activities, and you can always, after you report, after the deadline, you will not be able to change any numbers here because that will be fixed. But within the deadline, you can always go back to the input and make changes. For example, if you have additional activities, but that has to be in correspondence with the activity planning module that you have been added in the other database one planning module. So this is reporting module. This is how you report against your activities on Activityinfo instead of 4W's Excel offline. For any questions, inquiries, you can always contact GBV. I am a subsector IAM specialist and will be responding to your questions.